The movie begins by showing an old man named Milton, who is about 80 years old. Since the death of his wife, he has been living a lonely life. His son had already left home, and now he had a daughter who took care of him and helped him with everything. However, she often got quite frustrated with all of this. Talking about Milton, he often attended the city council meetings, and every time he requested to build a road in front of his house, he kept asking, but his request was always denied. One day, when his daughter came home, she gave him the monthly expenses and also suggested that he should go and see a mental doctor because he was slowly starting to forget things. Milton outright refused, and his daughter, not wanting to argue much, made arrangements for his food and left. That night, when Milton was sleeping, he heard loud noises coming from the back of the house. When he went to check, he was shocked to see that a spaceship had crashed there. He quickly called the rescue team, told them everything, and asked them to come immediately, but they thought he was joking and hung up on him. The next morning, Milton went to the council meeting and, as always, brought up his usual request to build a road in front of his house. However, like every other time, he was ignored. In the evening, while he was at home, he heard noises from the back of the house again. When he checked this time, he saw an injured alien with white skin lying on the ground. He quickly tried to call his daughter, but once again, he couldn't reach her, which made him quite worried. The next morning, Milton went to the council meeting again. This time, his neighbor, who was a writer, spoke up. She said that she had written a book about elderly people who live alone and suggested that young and old people should talk to each other to overcome loneliness. She requested permission to put up posters about this around the city, to which the council members agreed. She was quite happy about this program. After that, Milton came forward and complained that there was an alien in his house, and that the alien spaceship had crashed in his yard, destroying all his plants. Naturally, no one believed him, so his complaint was ignored. This made Milton angry, and he stormed out. While he was heading home, his neighbor, the writer, and another neighbor, a singer, came up to him and scolded him, saying that he shouldn't talk about such nonsense or else no one would believe elderly people. Milton thought the alien might have died, so he went to the garden behind his house again. However, the alien was still alive, though in bad shape, lying injured on the ground. Milton felt sorry for him this time, so he covered the alien with a blanket because he was shivering and gave him some water to drink. The next morning, Milton saw that the alien, still wrapped in the blanket, was sitting outside his house. Seeing this, Milton invited him inside and offered him various kinds of food, thinking he must be hungry after such a long time. However, the alien only picked a slice of apple to eat. This made Milton realize that the alien must like apples, so he went to the store and bought a lot of apples for him. Milton told the cashier, "You know, I'm buying these apples for an alien. He really likes them," which astonished the cashier, who also thought Milton was crazy. After returning home, Milton started watching the news on TV, where it was reported that something was seen falling from the sky to the ground. It was later revealed to be an alien spaceship, which the police were searching for everywhere. Milton didn't pay attention to this news as he was reading the newspaper at the time. Just then, the alien, who was in much better condition now, came in, and seeing him made Milton very happy. He showed the alien around the entire house and even gave him a separate room so he could stay comfortably. He then started telling the alien about his family, mentioning that his wife had died, after which his son left home and now lives in California, and that his daughter visits occasionally. Milton then began watching his favorite dance program on TV and told the alien to watch it, saying, "You will really like this." The next day, when Milton's daughter went shopping at the store, the cashier told her that her dad was talking about an alien and mentioned that he was buying apples for the alien. Naturally, she found this quite strange, so she took half a day off and went to her dad's house. She told him again to go to the mental doctor for a checkup. This time, Milton agreed, which made his daughter leave satisfied. Soon after, Milton received a call from his neighbor, the writer, who said she needed to use his printer. Milton told her to come over, and shortly after, she arrived. When she entered the room, she saw the alien sitting there and was quite shocked. Milton then took her to the back of the house and showed her the spaceship, saying, "See, I wasn't lying that day about the alien in my house. It came that very day. The writer also found the alien quite innocent and realized that it wasn't a threat. She told Milton that they had to hide it from the government because government officials often conduct cruel experiments on aliens and creatures from other worlds, and who knows what they might do to it. Milton agreed to this plan. Meanwhile, the writer's friend, who was also their neighbor and a singer, noticed the writer's car parked outside Milton's house. She wondered why the writer had gone to his house. The government was making every effort to find the alien spaceship, and now the FBI had also joined the search. A few days passed, with the alien living comfortably with Milton. One day, Milton noticed that the alien had drawn pictures of cats on several pages, with 7 cats on each page. Milton thought the alien had drawn them for him and was very happy. When he went outside, he saw that the alien had fully recovered and was now trying to repair his spaceship so he could return to his home planet. The next day, Milton went to the mental doctor with his daughter. The doctor conducted tests and asked many questions, but Milton gave wrong answers to all of them, because Milton was at the doctor's office and the alien was alone. The writer came to visit the alien to keep him company. She started talking to him so he wouldn't get bored. During their conversation, the writer mentioned that her daughter had moved to another city and had a baby boy who was very cute, but she hadn't seen him yet, which made her feel very sad. Meanwhile, the doctor, after hearing about Milton's memory issues and the alien story, told his daughter that his mental condition was quite poor. If it continued like this, he wouldn't be able to remember anything. The doctor suggested either hiring an assistant to take care of him or sending him to a nursing home where he could be properly looked after. Hearing this made Milton feel very bad, and he left, scolding his daughter. When he got home, the writer asked him how he was and if he had gone for the checkup. But because he was in a bad mood, he went to his room without answering. Milton was very upset and sad, regretting how his children were treating him. They didn't give him time, and they thought he was crazy. After a while, Milton started talking to the alien, saying that he didn't think he was a good dad because his children didn't want to have any connection with him and had left him completely alone. The alien listened carefully to everything Milton said, but hadn't spoken a single word yet. That night, Milton once again calls his son to try to mend their relationship. He also shares about his own life, describing how his daughter helps and takes care of him. However, his son does not respond this time either and hangs up, which makes Milton feel very bad. The next day, the writer brings a t-shirt for the alien and names him Jules, which is also the name of the movie. Meanwhile, the singer is at home watching the news, where it is announced that there is a reward for anyone who provides information about the spaceship associated with mental success. The thought crosses her mind that she wants to win this reward. She remembers that Milton once mentioned that an alien spaceship had crashed at his place. So, she quietly goes to his house, where she sees Milton sitting with the writer and the alien. When she comes forward, they invite her inside, but Milton doesn't like her presence. Milton then shows the writer the drawings of cats that the Jules had made. Seeing these, the singer suggests that maybe the alien is trying to communicate something through these drawings. Meanwhile, the FBI intensified their search for the spaceship. The next day, the singer also came to meet Jules and brought a t-shirt as a gift for him. She started talking to the alien because she also liked him very much. On the other hand, the writer received a call from a boy who had seen the posters of her program and wanted to meet her, which made her very happy. She invited him to her home. The singer also shared about herself with the alien, saying that she was a singer and sang very well. She mentioned that she had sung many songs while in another city. The boy came to meet the writer at her home. While they were talking, the boy asked to use the bathroom, and the writer directed him to her room. However, since it had been quite a while and the boy hadn't returned, she decided to check herself. She saw that he was stealing from her room. She panicked and quickly ran to call the police, but the boy caught her and started hitting her. Although the alien Jules was at Milton's house, he sensed everything that was happening. He realized that the boy was hurting the writer, so he decided to help her. He connected his mind with the boy's and, using his powers, made the boy's head explode like a bomb, resulting in the boy's death. After a while, the police arrived but couldn't understand how the boy had died in such a way, Although the writer told them everything, the police were still completely confused, unable to comprehend how someone could die like that. Consequently, the case was handed over to the FBI, who began keeping an eye on the writer. The writer realized that her life had been saved by none other than the alien Jules using his powers. She went to Milton's house, directly to the alien, hugged him while crying, and thanked him for saving her life. The next day, when Milton went to the store, his daughter came to meet him and asked why he had bought so many boxes. He ignored her and walked away. Later, when the four of them were eating, they started noticing a strange smell. Upon investigating, they found that the alien had brought a dead cat with him. They deduced that for some reason, the alien needed 7 cats, which is why Jules always drew 7 cats in each of his drawings. Since Jules had already brought 1 dead cat, they now needed 6 more. Now, since Milton's daughter worked at an animal hospital, Milton started calling her to ask where dead cats are usually buried. Hearing this, she was quite surprised and confused, wondering why her dad was asking such a question. She didn't say anything, so now these people set out to find the cats themselves. While Milton and the writer were talking to each other, they didn't notice, and a cat hit their car. They quickly got out of the car and took the cat's body with them. FBI agents, who had been keeping an eye on the writer, were behind them, and when they saw them picking up the cat's body, they were quite shocked. Besides this cat, they found another dead cat, so now they had 3 cats. This meant they needed 4 more. The singer promised to bring the remaining 4 cats. She would go to different places in her city and find them. So now they needed only 1 more cat. They were discussing this when FBI agents arrived at their house. So, they quickly hid as the agents thought no one was home and left. Now, the 3 of them started discussing that they needed to act quickly. Milton remembered that the singer also had a sick cat, so he asked her to bring that cat too. Hearing this, the singer got very angry and upset. She came to her car and started crying, wondering how her cat had been sick for so long. Shortly after, the writer also came and sat down, trying to comfort her, apologizing on behalf of Milton. She said that Milton was right. Her cat had been sick for a long time, and she couldn't see or hear. She was in pain. She had thought of putting her to sleep a long time ago so she wouldn't suffer, but she hadn't done it because she kept me company and alleviated my loneliness. Now, the singer also agreed to the idea of putting her cat to sleep to relieve her suffering. The cat was brought there, and Jules looked at her closely. With that, he gently put the cat to sleep, so she didn't feel any pain anymore. Now, with all 7 cats gathered together, he placed a silver cloth-like object on them, causing them to merge into one shiny red object. Jules used this as fuel for his spaceship. As soon as he installed this object in his spaceship, the engine started, meaning that it was completely fine now. Now, the alien could have gone back home, but he first tells Milton to come with him, signaling him to come inside. Despite having his children, Milton, who was alone, was also ready to go. But then his daughter calls, apologizing for her behavior and expressing gratitude for having her dad with her today. She wants to rebuild the beautiful relationship they used to have as father and daughter, apologizing once again for everything. This brings tears to Milton's eyes, and now he decides not to go with Jules. Remembering what happened when Jules had flown the spaceship last time, the FBI quickly found out, so they immediately rushed to Milton's house. Seeing them, the 4 quickly jumped into Jules' spaceship. Before the agents could catch them, they had already flown away. The spaceship landed just a short distance from their town, where the 3 of them got out, and the alien was standing in front of them. The writer and the singer also meet him. Milton hugs him, saying, "Thank you so much for inviting me to your home, but I can't leave my home right now. My children are doing fine with me." Jules, now calling them goodbye, sits them in the spaceship and leaves from here. It had been a few days since then, and the 3 of them were still sitting at Milton's house chatting because of the friendship that had formed because of the alien was quite good. Since they were elderly, they didn't feel the loneliness anymore. They often went out together because they enjoyed each other's company a lot. One day, the writer says, "I don't know if Jules will remember us or not, but I remember him a lot." That same night, when Milton was sitting alone, he heard a loud noise from the back of his house again, accompanied by a bright light, which made Milton smile because he understood that their friend had come to meet them. So, from this story, we learn that people have ended their relationships with each other, which is why today everyone is prey to loneliness, which is disturbing, especially for elderly people. And with this message, the story of this movie ends here. I hope you have liked this movie recap. Please like, share and subscribe for more real recaps.